Sorry about that before my camera rudely cut off, phone. Iron Blooded Orphans, one of my favorite anime shows. I love the culture, the racial diversity that they give the anime characters, and they're not really like stereotype in a way. Um, I pay close attention to stuff like that. I love how like the animation and the art style is like it's just like super crisp in a way. But yeah, um, watch Iron Blooded Orphans if you haven't seen it. It's one of my favorite anime shows. Plus, you might recognize some of your favorite voice actors in it. Johnny Youngbosh is the voice of Orga. No surprise there. But yeah, it's one of my favorites. Coming in at number three for me would have to be mm, Beck Mongolian Chop Squad. Beck Mongolian Chop Squad is a music type anime. I do think that that sort of anime genre is underrated. Besides the music in here is pretty good, but they do have some black anime characters in this anime that are like musicians, and I do think some of them are based off like real life black jazz musicians. Um, you have Leon, whose uncle is like a famous jazz musician. And there's a character in here named Ryusuke. He does get to meet him in person and he gets to play with him. But Leon and his uncle, I hate to say it, they're a bit stereotypical in terms of like their physical features. But do I think they were bad characters? No, not really. If you've seen the anime or if you've heard of it, this anime it does talk about different types of music. Um, Besides rock and roll, jazz is also a part of this anime. But like I said, Leon and his uncle, I forgot his name, but he's like a famous, jazz blues musician that goes to Japan every once in a while. And he does speak Japanese, so that's cool. But yeah, check that anime out. Beck Mongolian Chop Squad. If you haven't seen it, it's a favorite anime show of mine. Also, Ryusuke's English voice actor is Eric Vale, who plays Trunks from Dragon Ball Z and Sanji from One Piece, one of my anime husbands. Coming in at number two, we have Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Now, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood and Full Metal Alchemist, one of my favorite anime shows. All of these shows that I'm mentioning, they're all some of my favorites. Um, with this one, you have Scar, and then you have a character named Rose. Now, Scar and Rose are completely two different characters. Rose, I like her. She's to me is an underrated character, underrated like female character. Plus, she's not a stereotypical black woman in this show. She doesn't, like, in terms of her physical features, she doesn't look like the stereotype black woman that people are used to seeing, as if we all look the same. Newsflash, we don't. So stop believing in everything you see, because it's not always true. Scar, this is another problem I have with some anime shows. Not all black people have white hair or some form of scar on their face. Not everybody's like that. I don't know why they keep making characters like that in anime shows. They're not always like that. But yeah, Full Metal and Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, check those out. And lastly, I will put some honorable mentions, but I'm going to mention them. Black Lagoon. Yeah, Black Lagoon is one, and Soul Eater is another one. they got some black anime characters in there as well, and I like those. Lastly, coming in at number one, you have Michiko and Hatchin, Carol and Tuesday, and Cowboy Bebop. All three of these anime shows, well, all of these shows that I mentioned are my favorites. They're some of my favorite anime shows. Highly recommend if you haven't seen any of them. Now, Michiko and Hatchin, Carol and Tuesday, and Cowboy Bebop, to me, and uh, Iron Blooded Orphans, to me, they're some of the best representation for people of color in anime shows, regardless if they're from another country or from the US. And what I mean by that is people of color, basically people that are not white. Um, I wish people in Japan would stop like making up a fantasy about what they think America looks like and actually travel there or go there and witness it for themselves rather than like making it up, because to me that doesn't seem realistic or genuine. Not trying to be rude, but that's how it comes across for me. I have nothing but love and respect for the creators who created these shows, especially Carol and Tuesday, Michiko and Hatchin, Cowboy Bebop, and Iron Blooded Orphans. Shinichiro Watanabe is the man when it comes. Also, the JoJo Bizarre Adventure franchise. I love that one also. I love all of these shows. I put these at number one for a reason. Like, y'all don't understand. Growing up as a kid, I did not see a lot of representation for people of color in anime. And if it was, it would be a stereotype or something negative. But now that anime has finally got some common sense and they're changing their views on how we should look like in their shows, thank God, I genuinely love the representation that all of these shows give us people, black anime characters, including Afro Samurai. Afro Samurai did a phenomenal job. Phenomenal job. And I'm glad. I will put that as an honorable mention as well. Afro Samurai is one of them also. Samuel L. Jackson is the voice of Afro Samurai. So, if you're a black person, Asian, Latino, Puerto Rican person, and you want to watch some anime that with people like you in it, watch these shows. Specifically,